How social anxiety affects friendships. Hey there, and welcome back to the channel. I'm so glad you're here. Today we're diving into a topic that hits home for a lot of us: how social anxiety affects friendships. Whether you struggle with it yourself or you know someone who has, this video is all about understanding what it really feels like, how it gets in the way of friendships, and what we can actually do about it. So, get comfy, maybe grab a drink or snack, and let's have a real conversation. First things first, what even is social anxiety? A lot of people confuse it with being shy or introverted. And while those things can overlap, social anxiety is on a whole other level. Social anxiety disorder, also known as SAD, which is a pretty accurate acronym, let's be honest, is a mental health condition where everyday social situations cause intense fear, self-consciousness, and a whole lot of stress. It's like having a critic in your head 24/7. Your brain constantly tells you that you're being judged, that people think you're weird, or that you're messing everything up, even when that's absolutely not the case. You could be walking into a room and instantly thinking, oh no, they're all looking at me, or what if I say something dumb, or even, they probably don't want me here. And that fear, it's real. It doesn't matter the people around you are actually judging you or not. Your body reacts like it's a full-on threat. Sweaty palms, racing heart, blanking out in the middle of a sentence, the whole deal. So now imagine trying to make friends with all of that happening in the background. Making friends takes a certain level of confidence, or at least a willingness to put yourself out there. You have to say, hi, start a conversation, maybe even crack a joke or ask to hang out. But for someone with social anxiety, that's like trying to climb Mount Everest in flip-flops. It's terrifying. Even the idea of approaching someone new or sending a message can feel overwhelming. You start thinking, what if they think I'm weird? What if I say the wrong thing? What if they don't like me? So instead of reaching out, you pull back. And the thing is, most people on the outside won't see this internal struggle. They might think you're quiet or reserved, maybe even uninterested or unfriendly. But inside, you're probably overthinking every little thing. You're worried about how you look, what you said, how you said it, and what the other person might be thinking, even if they're not thinking about you at all. And it's not that you don't want friends. You do. You just don't know how to get past the fear long enough to make that connection. Let's say you actually do manage to make a friend. Amazing. But here comes the next challenge: keeping that friendship going. Social anxiety doesn't go away once the friendship starts. It sticks around. And it makes you second-guess everything. You might constantly wonder, am I being annoying? Did I text them too much? Are they mad at me? You might replay entire conversations in your head, picking apart every word you said, every facial expression they made. And because you're so anxious, you might start pulling away. You cancel plans. You take forever to reply to messages because you're scared of saying the wrong thing. Or maybe you just stop responding altogether. Not because you don't care, but because your brain convinces you that they don't want you around anyway. Then the guilt sets in. You feel bad for disappearing, but you don't know how to come back without making it awkward. It's a vicious cycle. This leads to a lot of misunderstandings. Your friends might think you're ignoring them or that you don't value the friendship. But what they don't see is the mental tug-of-war going on inside your head. You're worried about being a burden, about overstepping boundaries, about not being good enough. It's exhausting. And honestly, it can get really lonely. You want to connect. You want close friendships. But your anxiety acts like a barrier between you and the people you care about most. You end up spending so much time in your own head that it becomes harder to be present with the people around you. Even when you're with friends, you might feel like you're just going through the motions, smiling, nodding, pretending you're okay, when really you're stuck in a loop of self-doubt and fear. It's not that you don't enjoy their company. You do, but you're constantly wondering if they secretly wish you weren't there. That constant need for reassurance, it's draining. And eventually, some friendships just fade away. Not because you didn't care, but because your anxiety made it so hard to keep the connection going. But here's the good news. There are ways to manage social anxiety. It's not always easy, and it definitely doesn't happen overnight, but it is possible. One of the most helpful things you can do is start small. You don't have to go to a huge party or speak in front of a crowd. Maybe just send a text. Smile at someone. Ask a classmate or coworker how their day's going. These tiny steps might not seem like much, but they build confidence over time. Another big one is learning to challenge your thoughts. When that inner voice says they're judging you or they don't like you, try to pause and ask yourself, is this really true? Do I have proof? More often than not, it's just anxiety talking. Your brain's job is to protect you, but sometimes it gets a little too protective and ends up holding you back. It's also super important to be kind to yourself. Self-compassion is huge. You're not weak or broken because you struggle with social anxiety. You're human, and you're doing your best, which is honestly more than enough. You don't have to be perfect to be a good friend. Talking to someone, whether that's a therapist, a counselor, or just a trusted friend, can also make a big difference. Sometimes just saying out loud, "Hey, I get really anxious in social situations," can take away some of the shame. People are often more understanding than we give them credit for. And if they're not, that says more about them than it does about you. If you're someone who has a friend with social anxiety, there are some simple ways you can help. Be patient. Don't take canceled plans personally. Reach out from time to time. Even just a thinking of you message can go a long way. Try to create a space where they feel safe being themselves, without pressure to perform or be on all the time. You don't have to fix them. Just letting them know they're cared for can mean everything. At the end of the day, social anxiety makes friendships a lot more complicated, but not impossible. You can still build deep, meaningful connections. It might take more time, more effort, and a little extra understanding, but it's absolutely worth it. And remember, you are not alone in this. There are so many people feeling the same way, fighting the same battles quietly. If this video resonated with you or made you feel even just a little more seen, please go ahead and hit that like button. Drop a comment and share your experiences. What's helped you manage social anxiety? What do you wish your friends knew? I'd love to hear from you. And hey, don't forget to subscribe to the channel at Zachaprat for more honest, helpful conversations about mental health life and all the messy stuff in between. We're building a community here where everyone's welcome, and I'd love for you to be a part of it. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Take care of yourself. You've got this.